Manchester United makes summer transfer decision on Antony. Manchester United are expected to part ways with Antony after his short-term loan deal with Real Betis in Spain. The Brazil international was allowed to join Betis during the winter transfer window in order to secure regular game time. Antony was the man of the match on debut, but he was brilliant again today with a goal in a 3-2 loss to Celta Vigo in La Liga. United are hoping the attacker can continue his bright form so that they can secure a good transfer fee during the summer. The Red Devils bought Antony for a staggering £85 million 3 years ago, and they are prepared to cut their losses on him. The club are aiming to recoup at least £40 million, but may have to accept a lesser fee for his permanent exit this summer. A world champion in the dressing room. It is very unlikely that Lisandro Martinez and fellow finalist Raphael Varane will be available for either of United's next games against Burnley and Nottingham Forest, as they will be on a well-deserved break, but this experience will be invaluable to bring back to the dressing room when they do return. 5 things learned as Manchester United defeat Burnley 2-0 in the EFL Cup. Manchester United, for the first time in 6 weeks, were in action on Tuesday evening in the EFL Cup as they beat Burnley 2-0 to progress to the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup. After an initial slow start to the game that saw Burnley fairly comfortable in possession, the Red Devils woke up when a brilliant volley assist from Aaron Wan-Bissaka set up Christian Eriksen for the opening goal. After going in at halftime 1-up in comfortable fashion, Marcus Rashford scored a brilliant solo goal in the second half to secure victory for Erik ten Hag's men. Here are 5 things learned from the club's first 90 minutes back after the World Cup break. 1. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has a solid case to make. Before this fixture, Wan-Bissaka had played 4 minutes of competitive football under Erik ten Hag, having dropped significantly behind Diogo Dalot in the pecking order. However, on 26 minutes, his assist to gift the opening goal of the game to Eriksen has helped him show Erik ten Hag exactly why the Dutch manager should give Wan-Bissaka a chance should he not leave on loan in January. Read. More. How West Ham can fix Erik ten Hag's Aaron Wan-Bissaka problem. 2. Alejandro Garnacho is now a fully fledged first-team player. Alejandro Garnacho has picked up where he left off for Erik ten Hag. Starting on the left wing for the Red Devils, he was explosive and impressive the whole first half, and in the second, he had a few chances to score or create a chance to score, and although he didn't take them, his general positioning, timing, and intelligence was once again incredibly impressive for a player of his age and novice. 3. Casemiro didn't miss a step. Despite not playing with most of his club teammates for 6 weeks, Casemiro went straight back into the Xe like he never left. Starting at center-back due to a lack of availability in the position, he looked completely at ease. In the first half, he saved Martin Dubravka's skin with a goal-line clearance after the keeper's blunder, kept Ashley Barnes fairly quiet throughout the half, and kept his backline in shape. He continued to excel in the role, playing some beautiful and creative passes from the back and generally dictating play in both the defensive and middle thirds. 4. Martin Dubravka did not convince. Despite what one might think about David De Gea, his place in the side, and his current contract situation, Dubravka did himself no favors in goal tonight with a couple of pretty shaky moments. As mentioned above, Casemiro had to bail Dubravka out of a sticky situation after the keeper completely missed a punch-out, and mere seconds later Dubravka then miscontrolled a pass back towards him, letting the ball slide under his foot and having to chase after it before the ball rolled in. Harry Kane has been tipped to make a return to the Premier League next year after it emerged that the England captain reportedly has a release clause in his Bayern Munich contract. Harry Kane is playing his cards close to the chest amidst rumors that he might make a sensational return to the Premier League. The England captain, 31, transferred to Bayern Munich from Tottenham 18 months ago in an £82 million deal and has continued his goal-scoring form in Germany. However, it's been speculated this past week that the striker's contract includes a release clause allowing him to be bought for only £54 million when it becomes active in January 2026. It was reported that last month, a buyout sum of £67 million was active during the recent January transfer window. The reports opened the door to the idea that Kane could make a return to England, but he refused to be drawn into the talk when pressed on the matter on Friday. After scoring 2 penalties in Bayern's 3-0 win against Werder Bremen, Kane remained coy on the links, replying, "What I can say is that I'm very happy at FC Bayern. No comment on the clause." A number of English clubs, including his former club Tottenham and the persistent suitors Manchester United, have been linked to making a potential offer. Manchester United handed surprise green light to complete Xavi Simons' transfer after £66 million deal. Latest Manchester United transfer news as Xavi Simons' services could be made available in the summer to bolster Ruben Amorim's side. Manchester United are one of the top teams in Europe that have been linked with a move for Xavi Simons in the last 3 years. Ever since his loan move to PSV Eindhoven from Paris Saint-Germain, clubs have been keeping tabs on his development. Simons scored 22 goals and assisted another 12 in the Netherlands in the 2022 season before taking his game to a next level with RB Leipzig. In his first loan in Germany, the attacking midfielder contributed to 25 goals and established himself as one of the Netherlands' most important players at last year's European Championships. This year he has continued to impress, and Leipzig acted quickly in January to make the move permanent. Simon signed a contract until 2027 after Leipzig paid an initial fee of €50 million with a potential €30 million in add-ons. Should those add-ons be achieved, he would become the second most expensive Bundesliga signing in history. However, there are already reports that the 21-year-old could leave the club as soon as the summer transfer window opens. German journalist Christian Falk has reported that United are once again on the playmakers' radar alongside Liverpool and Manchester City. Writing in his column for Caught Offside, he said, "It's looking likely that Leipzig will sell Xavi Simons in the summer transfer window. It was a little bit surprising that Leipzig committed to a permanent deal with Simons. At the beginning, they didn't think they'd get this chance, but they did it for €50 million, which isn't a lot for this kind of player. His contract, of course, isn't that long, running just until 2027. So you see, his stock is rising. Leipzig are thinking they have signed a player for €50 million who has the potential to be an €80 million player, so they could earn a lot of money on a potential sale. I'm sure there's a gentleman's agreement or a release clause which would see Simons sold in the summer. Liverpool are interested, as are Manchester City and Manchester United. Xavi Simons won't stay at Leipzig for his whole career, but everyone already knows that. Leipzig had the chance because PSG were happy to sell, as they can't loan so many players in Europe. It's great news for Leipzig, as they've brought in another high-quality player, and if he has to leave, they can now earn a lot of money. Good deal. Antony scores first league goal in 287 days as he equals his Man United goal tally this season after 2 games with Real Betis. Manchester United loanee Antony scored his first goal for Real Betis in their 3-2 defeat against Celta Vigo on Saturday afternoon, as the Brazilian winger bids to rebuild his career. The 24-year-old found the net with a neat finish from inside the area to open the scoring in the 10th minute. His performance earned him his second Man of the Match award in as many games since landing in the south of Spain. Antony had also achieved that accolade on his debut for Real Betis against Athletic Bilbao. It was also Antony's first league goal in 287 days, with his last such strike having come for United against Burnley on April 27, 2024. The winger joined the La Liga club for the rest of the season after a dismal 2.5-year stint at Old Trafford and has already hit the ground running in his new surroundings. Despite Antony's strike, Betis still ended up suffering a defeat in their La Liga clash against Celta Vigo as they surrendered a 2-goal lead. Antony joined United in the summer of 2022 from Ajax for a staggering £86 million fee, but was unable to live up his hefty price tag under Erik ten Hag. He made 96 appearances in all competitions, but scored just 12 goals, and after being overlooked by Ruben Amorim, he was afforded the chance to switch to Seville. With his goal against Celta Vigo, Antony equaled his goal tally in the league with United across the last 2 seasons in just 2 games for Betis. His last goal for United came when he scored against Barnsley in the Carabao Cup in September. Antony will be determined to enjoy a strong second half of the season with Betis as he looks to get his career back on track. Betis face Gent away on Thursday in the playoff round of the Europa Conference League. It's massive. Morgan Rogers delivers Marcus Rashford verdict after Aston Villa debut Manchester United loanee. Marcus Rashford made his debut for Aston Villa on Sunday evening in a 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup. Marcus Rashford departed Manchester United in the January transfer window to join Aston Villa on loan for the remainder of the season. Manchester United loanee Marcus Rashford made his debut for Aston Villa on Sunday evening in a 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup. Marcus Rashford departed Manchester United in the January transfer window to join Aston Villa on loan for the remainder of the season. It was a positive start for Rashford at Villa Park after he produced a solid cameo off the bench on his debut against Spurs. He came on as the lone striker and won 4 of his 6 attempted duels. He also completed 1 tackle, 13 of his 14 attempted passes, and 1 take-on. The standout moment from the United loanee came when he drifted to the left wing and nutmegged Spurs defender Pedro Porro before driving towards the box. Porro came back and fouled Rashford, but the referee allowed play to continue. Rashford will be hoping to start next weekend as Villa return to Premier League action against Ipswich Town. Rogers delivers Rashford verdict. Morgan Rogers was the star man for Villa on Sunday evening, assisting the first goal and scoring the second. He explained earlier this week that he was looking forward to causing damage to other teams alongside Rashford. The 22-year-old was awarded man of the match after their FA Cup win and was asked about Rashford and the other new signings. Alongside the United forward, the Midlands club brought in Doniel Malen, Andres Garcia, Marcos Asensio, and Axel Disasi during the January window. It pushes us along. We also want to take what we can from the experienced players in the squad, the things that they've done in their career, Rogers told BBC Sport. It's good to take what they've done and use it to our advantage and push ourselves. It's massive to have people like that through the door and in the building, and it drives everyone on. That's why we've got such a healthy squad, and hopefully we can just push each other on. Those moments aside, Dubravka did make some decent saves, and despite keeping a clean sheet, if tonight showed anything, it showed he should not be the one to dethrone David De Gea. 5. Marcus Rashford. Take a bow, son. Despite only starting 1 fixture for England at the World Cup, Rashford scored 3 lovely goals in Qatar, including an incredible free kick against Wales. And not only did he look sharp from the off against Burnley, the goal he scored was simply incredible. Receiving the ball on the halfway line, Rashford ran at a petrified Burnley defense who could do nothing more than back off until it came to the edge of the right-hand area, where Rashford elegantly and swiftly danced his way through their back line before thrashing the ball into the bottom left corner and celebrating like he'd scored a worldie, which he had. 3. Casemiro didn't miss a step. Despite not playing with most of his club teammates for 6 weeks, Casemiro went straight back into the epinth like he never left. Starting at center-back due to a lack of availability in the position, he looked completely at ease. In the first half, he saved Martin Dubravka's skin with a goal-line clearance after the keeper's blunder, kept Ashley Barnes fairly quiet throughout the half, and kept his back line in shape. He continued to excel in the role, playing some beautiful and creative passes from the back, and generally dictating play in both the defensive and middle thirds. 4. Martin Dubravka did not convince. Despite what one might think about David De Gea, his place in the side, and his current contract situation, Dubravka did himself no favors in goal tonight with a couple of pretty shaky moments. As mentioned above, Casemiro had to bail Dubravka out of a sticky situation after the keeper completely missed a punch-out, and mere seconds later, Dubravka then miscontrolled a pass back towards him, letting the ball slide under his foot and having to chase after it before the ball rolled in. Those moments aside, Dubravka did make some decent saves, and despite keeping a clean sheet, if tonight showed anything, it showed he should not be the one to dethrone David De Gea. 5. Marcus Rashford. Take a bow, son. Despite only starting one fixture for England at the World Cup, Rashford scored 3 lovely goals in Qatar, including an incredible free kick against Wales. And not only did he look sharp from the off against Burnley, the goal he scored was simply incredible. Receiving the ball on the halfway line, Rashford ran at a petrified Burnley defense who could do nothing more than back off until it came to the edge of the right-hand area, where Rashford elegantly and swiftly danced his way through their back line before thrashing the ball into the bottom left corner and celebrating like he'd scored a worldie, which he had. Manchester United loanee Marcus Rashford has reflected on his debut for Aston Villa after beating Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup. Marcus Rashford made a temporary switch from Manchester United to Aston Villa in the January transfer window, joining on loan for the rest of the season. The 27-year-old hadn't featured for United since early December and had previously hinted in an interview that he was open to a fresh challenge. His debut for Villa got off to a promising start as he put in a strong performance off the bench against Tottenham. Playing as a lone striker, Rashford won 4 of his 6 duels, made a successful tackle, and completed 13 of his 14 passes, along with a successful take-on. One of his standout moments came when he drifted out to the left flank, nutmegged Pedro Porro, and surged towards the box. Though Porro tried to recover and fouled him, the referee allowed play to continue. Rashford will now be pushing for a place in the starting 11 as Villa prepare to take on Ipswich Town in their next Premier League match. Rashford reflects on Villa debut. Diogo Dalot was the first United player to like the post, and fellow United loanee Antony, who is currently at Real Betis for the remainder of the season, also reacted to the post. Former United Academy star Ravel Morrison commented, "Looked sharp, my bro, your time to shine. United need loanees to succeed." United fans will have mixed feelings seeing Rashford back on the pitch, especially after a sharp performance amid the problems within Ruben Amorim's squad. Ultimately, now that the decision has been made, the Reds need Rashford and their other loan players to have sue.